guys, what's up? Tamara here. Welcome to another episode on the Shelf Addiction Podcast. Today is episode 22, and I am talking all about trends in teen and young adult fiction. And trends is like something that always comes back around, with fashion, with music, and same with books. Things go in and out of trend, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So if you have any feedback from me, or if you'd like to get in on this conversation and let me know what you think the 2016 trends are for young adult fiction, feel free to send me a tweet at Shelf Addiction on Twitter. So I'm just going to jump right on in and get started. I'm going to choose like my top 3 trends instead of going, through a whole list of them. I did spot a few that I concur with, and I will have links in the show notes to all of the articles that I found on this topic before speaking about it. So again, feel free to chime in and let me know what you think. So first up, one of the trends for YA is epic fantasy. And basically that is where there is elaborate world building. We might be talking angels and demons. We may be talking things where, it may not be of this earth. It may just be a lot of suspension of disbelief because it's a lot of world building into it. A great example of that would be The Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor. It was just epic. It was amazing. And while that did come out a few years ago, I guess that trend is coming back. Now, I did mention angels and demons, but again, this falls under the whole fantasy umbrella. The key to epic or high fantasy, for lack of a better way to say it, is that, again, it's all about extreme, strong world building. It's not urban fantasy. It's not taking place in Chicago or, New York or anything that's, really common and known to us. It is world building on another level. And I just love these books. They're really good, and they just, you're able to just delve into them, and I can see why they are making a comeback. Now, before I get to my second trend, I would like to acknowledge that, yes, I am mostly all talking about young adult books or teen books. And yes, adults do read them. If you're listening to my podcast, I assume that you're of the school of thought where adults read young adult and teen fiction as well. And if not, you need to give it a try, really. Really, they're fun and light, and maybe not always light, but I always have a great time reading them, and it's a great way to change up your reading. When you're, after you've been reading a lot of adult fiction or some really heavy, things, some light, easier reading is in order. And so definitely don't sleep on young adult or teen fiction. If you are an adult and you like good stories with great lessons and just, really fun storytelling, do not think that you can't read young adult fiction. It was really starting, I guess, adults reading young adult really, for me, in my opinion, kind of really kicked off really hard around 2012 or so. Everyone, including adults, they were reading Harry Potter when the Harry Potter movies came out. They were reading The Hunger Games. They were reading Twilight. All of those things are all young adult, but adults were reading them. So give it a try. Go for some of the recommendations on my Goodreads that I've rated 5 stars. Go to shelfaddiction.com, click on the YA fantasy, and scroll through some of my reviews and see if it's something you'd be interested in, or contemporary fiction, YA, or YA mystery, or whatever your thing is. Just give it a try. I encourage you. Now, another trend that I'm finding, it's kind of still in trend, I guess, from last year, retellings. They're still going strong, in my opinion. I'm not just talking about fairy tale retellings only, but even classic lit being retold in a contemporary fashion. There's a lot of great examples, including, Marissa Meyer's series, the Lunar Chronicles, and she's got another series that's starting, I believe, this either November or December, and people are all about it. Also, there was a book that came out recently called My Lady Jane by 3 different authors that everyone was really raving about. And that's definitely on my TBR list. We have retellings of Romeo and Juliet and Hamlet and lots of classics. And like I said, fairy tales. So, Snow White and Cinderella and all of those old classics, they have been retold in a either fantasy setting or a contemporary setting. And you definitely want to check those out. There's lots to choose from.
It's time for the blog rundown. Find out what's new on shelfaddiction.com.
Okay, I've got some cool things going on the blog, and some off blog actually. So I'm going to throw those into this category as well. First, I have signed up on Anchor. It is a iOS now Android app, and it's kind of cool. Like, it's almost like I can just say what I want about a certain topic, and you can give me verbal feedback, and we can have a verbal conversation. It's really awesome. Feel free to check me out on Anchor. I like to talk about TV shows that I'm watching, or books that I just finished, or random things that come to mind that I want to discuss and have some feedback on. So, I'm a feedback girl. I love hearing opinions and having discussions. So check it out. So it's in the Google Play Store and iOS. Now, also, speaking of apps, coming soon, I don't know the exact date. I have something in the works now. We'll have an amazing Instagram giveaway coming. So you'll want to make sure you're following me on Twitter or Facebook or somewhere when you so you won't miss the announcements, and then you'll need to follow me on Instagram, obviously, to enter to win, but you don't want to miss it. I have a really cool prize pack that I've been working with a company on, and I think it's going to be fun. So if you love reading and you like swag and stuff like that, be sure to follow me so you know when that Instagram giveaway goes live. Also, let's see, coming soon, the Shelf Addiction podcast will be on Stitcher. Yes, so including, in addition to the places you can listen to the Shelf Addiction podcast now, soon, hopefully within a week, you'll be able to use that in Stitcher as well. So if you have Stitcher on your car radio or, the app on Android or iOS, then you can use that there if you're using that for your podcast aggregator. Last but not least, guys, is my feedback button on shelfaddiction.com. It is a voicemail. Leave me a voicemail. I want to hear from you. If you want to ask advice on what to read, or if you'd like to leave me your book recommendation. Right now, still, I am accepting suspense/mystery book recommendations only for the next few days before I switch over to another genre. So leave me, 30 to 60 second voicemail with your name, or whatever information you would like to leave, in addition to the title and author of your recommendation, and a one-liner telling me why you recommend it. I really want to hear from you. I'd love to add you to that episode, so go ahead and leave that feedback for me today. Last but not least of my top 3 trends is contemporary fiction with realistic issues. I've seen that a couple different places, and I totally agree with that statement. I've recently reviewed books about bullying and consent and serious realistic issues, and those are YA books. And that definitely is on trend right now. People want to, or young adults and adults want to read, stories about things that are happening now, issues racism issues, LGBT issues, everything under the sun could be found in this category. And they are perfect books kind of for like life lessons. And if you want to learn something, have a discussion, have some takeaway, these are some great options. And also, it really lends itself to people being able to relate to books. That's just how people want to see themselves on television, not literally, but they want to see people that look like them on television. They also want to be able to read about a character that seems like it could be like them, in a situation like them, from a community like them. We're not in a situation or a society anymore where everyone in a book can look a certain way. Everyone in the movies can look a certain way, or, be from the same place and all of that. Not to get all preachy and stuff, but that's why contemporary YA is great. And that's why, books that include realistic, true situations is great. I'm all about it. I think it's a good thing. There's lots of examples out there. If you just Google realistic contemporary fiction, or maybe check on goodreads.com, there are lots of genre lists that include these type of books. So that's all I've got. Short and sweet for you today. If you have some trends that you think I missed, or trends that you think are very relevant right now, and people are reading tons of books under these trends, please let me know. I would hate to miss the bus on anything awesome. So hit me up on Twitter, and I'll definitely take a look at it. Thank you for listening today, and see you next week. But before you go, please hit that follow button on Spreaker, the one and only place where you can listen to an episode live, or subscribe and listen later on iTunes, Google Play Music, and YouTube, and soon Stitcher. That's it, and thanks for listening. Until next time, happy reading. Bye, guys.